Now students, coming to the second topic, that is microsporogenesis. Okay, microsporogenesis, that is formation of microspores. Formation of microspores. Okay, microspores. Now student, you can see inside this microsporangia, in the middle part there is a sporogenous tissue. Okay, so what is the sporogenous tissue? So student, when the anther is young, okay, there is a group of compactly arranged homogeneous cells which is forming the sporogenous tissue. Okay, it is a group of compactly arranged homogeneous cells. Okay, and these group of cells is forming a sporogenous tissue. Clear? And this tissue is later developing. Okay, it is occupying the center of microsporangia. Okay, and this tissue will later develop into the microspore tetrads. How? That is student, as the anther develops, okay, when it is the young, this tissue is in the form of a sporogenous tissue. Okay, it is when the anther is young, the cells are in the form of sporogenous tissue. When the anthers develops, okay, then slowly what happens, that the cells of this sporogenous tissue, they undergo meiotic division. Okay, and due to the meiotic division, they form microspore tetrads. Okay, they are forming through a meiotic division, they are forming a microspore tetrads. Now what will be the ploidy of this tetrads? Okay, ploidy means that the number of chromosomes present in a nucleus of a cell. So what will be the ploidy? So student, as it is a meiotic division, all cell will be haploid. Okay, it will be a haploid cells. Okay, now what happens to this microspore tetrads? Okay, so what have we got? We are writing it again, that sporogenous tissue. Okay, sporogenous tissue, right? These cells of sporogenous tissue, they undergot the meiotic division, and as a result what they formed? They formed microspore tetrads. Okay, now each one is what? It is a potential pollen or a microspore mother cell. Okay, जो स्पोरोजेनस टिश्यू के डिवीजन के वजह से हमें जो सेल्स मिल रहे हैं, what are the cells which we are getting? We are terming that cell is a microspore tetrads, but each one of it is a microspore. Okay, what it is a potential pollen. Okay, it can develop into a pollen, or it is a pollen mother cell. In short, it is termed as PMC. क्लियर? सो आप देख रहे होंगे इधर हमने जब पहले डिस्कस किया था, सो यहाँ पे माइक्रोस्पोर मदर सेल्स. ओके, दीज आर नथिंग बट द पोलन मदर cells. Clear? Which is there in the layer of tapetum. Clear? Now, the process of formation of microspores from a pollen mother cell through a process called as meiosis is termed as microsporogenesis. Okay, this pollen mother cells undergoes a meiotic division, and as a result what we are getting? Okay, we are getting microspores. And this process of forming a microspores from this pollen mother cell is termed as microsporogenesis. Okay, what it is termed as? It is termed as microsporogenesis. Clear? Now, when the microspores are formed through the process of microsporogenesis, okay, what happens? They are arranged in the form of microspore tetrads. Now, when the when the anther will mature, okay, mature means now it is a time for the anther to dehisce, okay, to break, okay, mature and dehydrate. So these microspores, when they are in the groups, okay, they will start dissociating from one another, okay, and it will develop into pollen grains. Clear? So inside a microsporangium, there are several thousands of microspores, or you can also term it as a pollen grains. And so these several thousands of microspores or the pollen grains are released in the atmosphere at the time of dehiscence of anther. Okay, so I hope student you are clear about stamen, microsporangium and microsporogenesis. Okay, now coming to the next topic, that is the pollen grain. Pollen grain. Okay, what is pollen grain? So student, the pollen grain, what does it represent? Okay, it represents the male gametophyte. Okay, clear? The size, shape, colors, designs, okay, shape, colors, designs of the pollen grains, it varies from different species to species. मतलब species to species pollen grains के size, शेप, कलर और डिजाइन वरी करता है, मतलब वो डिफरेंट होते हैं. लाइक एक फ्लावर के साइज, क्या एक फ्लावर है उसका पोलन ग्रेन की साइज डिफरेंट होगी एज कंपेयर टू द फ्लावर दैट इज another flower. Okay, so now student, the pollen grains, when you see it, so you can see it, it is a spherical in structure. Okay, usually on an average the diameter is 25 to 50 micrometers. Okay, now it is having a two wall. Okay, the wall of the means the wall of the pollen grain, okay, it is having a two layers, exine and intine. Okay, now exine student, it is made up of sporopollenin. Okay, and from where does this sporopollenin develops? It develops from the pollenin. It develops from the cytoplasm of what? It develops from the cytoplasm of, हमने आगे डिस्कस किया था ना स्टूडेंट, फ्रॉम वेयर डज इट डेवलप्स? इट डेवलप्स फ्रॉम द cytoplasm of tapetum layers. Okay, the cells which are present in the tapetum layer, from the cytoplasm of that sporopollenin it is developing. The sporopollenin student, it is the most, okay, when you are talking about sporopollenin, then it is the most resistant structure, and that is why the pollen grains are also preserved as fossils. Okay, that is the reason the pollen grains are also preserved as fossils. Clear? It is resistant to what? It is resistant to high temperatures, alkalis, acids, Okay, there is no enzymes which can degrade this poropollenin structure. Okay, there is no enzyme which can degrade this poropollenin structure. Okay, now student, the pollen grain, it is having a pore, that is an aperture, a hole type structure. Okay, for what this aperture is there? Okay, for the formation of germ tube. Okay, so this pore is also termed as a germ pore. Okay, for the germination of pollen tube, from this structure the pollen tubes germinates. Okay, so student, these aperture, there is absence of sporopollenin. Okay, in this structure there is absence of sporopollenin. Clear? Now student, the cytoplasm of pollen grain is surrounded by a plasma membrane. Okay, now when this pollen grain matures, then it is having two type of cell. One is vegetative and another one is the generative cell. The vegetative cell, student, it is usually bigger. Okay, and it is having an abundant food material and a large irregular shape nucleus which you can see. Okay, clear? So the vegetative cell is bigger, it is having an, I'm writing here, talking about vegetative cell, so it is bigger, it is having food reserve material. Okay, and a very large irregular shaped nucleus. Okay, large irregular shaped nucleus. Now when you talk about this generative cell, okay, coming to this generative cell. Okay, so students, the generative cell is small, it floats in the cytoplasm of what? In the cytoplasm of vegetative cell. Okay, it is spindle shaped with dense cytoplasm and a nucleus. In over 60% of angiosperms, the pollen grains, when they are shed, so they are shed at this two-celled stage. Okay, why two-cell stage? Because it is having vegetative cell and generative cell also. Vegetative cell is comparatively very large. Okay, it is having a irregular shaped nucleus. Clear? And when you are talking about a generative cell, then the generative cell is small, it is floating in the cytoplasm. You can see over here, students, the generative cell, it is, this is the cytoplasm of whole, it is the cytoplasm of vegetative cell, and this generative cell is floating in the cytoplasm of vegetative cell, and in about 60 percentage of angiosperms. Okay, angiosperms means the plants bearing flowers. In about 60 percentage of angiosperms, the pollen grains, at what time they are released or at what time they are shed at this two-celled stage. Okay, now in the remaining, okay, in the remaining 40 percentage, what happens? That this generative cell, okay, this generative cell divides mitotically. Okay, it divides mitotically to give rise to what? To male gametes. Okay, before pollen grains are shed, okay, and it is termed as a three-celled stage. Now student, these pollen grains, okay, these pollen grains of many species, they are responsible for causing some kind of allergies, okay, and infections, and these can often lead to the chronic, okay, chronic means which last for many years, okay, chronic respiratory disorders, okay. So the pollen grains, we know student, it is just released into the atmosphere, okay, and it comes in contact with our nose. So when we inhale it, it causes some kind of allergies in some person, okay, the allergies, and also it is responsible for causing the infections like bronchial infections, and these infection, it can also lead to the chronic respiratory disorders, okay. So which disorders are included in this? It is asthma, bronchitis, okay. Now students, it is, this one is very important to mention over here, that parthenium, we will underline this word as it is a scientific name. Parthenium, or the common name is carrot grass, okay, it came to India as a contaminant, okay, as a contaminant of the wheat which were imported, okay, okay, and it has become ubiquitous, okay, it has become ubiquitous. What is meant by ubiquitous means now it is present everywhere, and what it is contributing, its occurrence is causing what? Its occurrence is causing pollen allergy, okay. So your student, we are completing about stamens, microsporingia, microsporogenesis, and pollen grains. In the next class student, we will be discussing about how pollens are useful as a nutrient. Also here we discussed about the demerits, that it is responsible for causing the allergies, for infections, okay. Now in our next class we will be discussing some of the uses of the pollen grains, okay, and then we will be discussing the female reproductive system, that is pistil, megasporangia, okay. So student, see you all in the next class. Thank you.